Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to make a necklace using products from the Curated Bead box for November 2022. The theme for this month's box was Midnight Garden, and this is such a pretty box. I will link the unboxing in the description box below this video. First, our encouraging word for today is turn your wounds into wisdom. That's good advice right there. Okay, so this is actually the second time I've made this necklace. The first time, apparently, the whole thing didn't record, so only half of it came out, and now I'm having to redo it. So I'm just going to show you guys what I got here, and like this little bauble's already put together because, like I said, this is the second time I've made this necklace. I do have a couple pieces of leather. Now this is a real pretty kind of bluish silvery color leather. And I've got, let me measure this here. I've got 12, 2 pieces at about 25 inches. Okay, so that's that. 2 pieces at about 25 inches. And then I have some smaller pieces here. So these pieces are, I've got one at 12 inches, one at 10, and one at 9. So 12, 10, and 9. So 2 at 25, and then 1 at 12, 1 at 10, and 1 at 9. So that's my leather. I have this big rose piece from the box this month, and then I knew I had something similar in my stash, so I went and dug around and finally found them. These little tiny charms or connectors or whatever they are, chandeliers, they could be anything. But those match this pretty well, so I'm going to use them today. I have some 26 gauge artistic wire. I have some eye pins. Okay. I have a lobster claw clasp, a jump ring, 12mm jump ring for the lobster to clasp onto, and then I made a little dangle here with a ball head pin just for, I don't know, I had an extender on it, so I'm not even sure I'll use that dangle because I'm not sure I'm going to put an extender on this one. We'll see. And then I have some of the beads. So I've got these really pretty 12mm petrol blue is what they called these. I've got some of the crackled glass. I have some of these marbled beads, and these match this leather perfectly. And then I have some of the 6mm blue pearls. So I just thought these colors were so pretty, all this together, and we're going to make a necklace using it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is still trying to decide exactly how I want to do it. I'm going to do it different than the one that I did in the other one, just because I think I like this design better, what I'm thinking of. So I'm going to take the pieces of leather. I'm going to find the middle of each one. Okay, so just by putting the ends together, it shows me where the middle is. Okay, so here's the middle of each one. I'm going to take them and line the middles up as best I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want it kind of close. And then I'm just going to put them right through here. And I'm going to try to find the middle of this as best I can. So just by lining the ends up again. Maybe pull it this way just a tad. That's pretty close. Okay, now I should have got this wire off first. I'm going to take a piece of this wire, about, I don't know, 18 inches probably of the wire. Where are my cutters? I just want to make sure I have enough. You probably won't need that much, but I want to make sure that I have enough. And we're just going to create a little wire spiral right here and bind all these pieces of leather together. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it around and start going around the whole bunch of the pieces of leather. Now when you get this going, it's a lot easier. It's a little hard at the very beginning to get it going, but once you get it started, it's pretty easy. And I'm going to try to do a fairly neat wrap here and just try to coil it right on top of each one. And I don't want it to be too messy this time. Usually I like messy wraps, but I think I'm in the mood for a neat wrap today. I don't know why. But I'm going right over top of the little tail piece that I put around there. I'm not even going to worry about him right now. I'm just going to coil right over top of him. And when I am finished, we'll tuck him in. So I'm just trying to get that up out of the way. There we go. Okay, just right over top of him, not worrying about him. Okay. And there is a pretty good little coil, pretty neat and tidy. May go a couple more. I'm going to kind of lay him down now and just go right over top of him. Just like that. Now, when I'm around to the back of the coil, I'm going to take him around, this little tail around to the back, and I'm going to make sure that my coil piece is around to the back when I cut it. I'm going to trim that little tail piece off a little, and then trim the coil off. And then I'm just going to take my pliers, and I'm just going to lay both pieces flat, just tuck them flat against the leather. And that will just lay them right down, and then they will be out of the way. And there's what we have. Cute little coil. I like this rose piece, but it is so huge that I just wanted to spread the focal a little, not make it quite so big of a focal. I kind of wanted to spread the love a little and just add something kind of in front of it. So I am going to take this little charm, and I'm going to take a jump ring here, and I'm going to hang this little charm on the front just because I love the fact that it matches this other piece so well. And I'm just going to, you know, pick one of the center pieces of the leather here, just any piece really, it doesn't matter, and just hang it right on there. Okay, and I'm just going to close that right up. And there we have our little charm. Really cute. I just wanted him on there. Okay, now we're going to take some of these beads and we're going to tie them. Do I want to tie them or do I want to crimp them? I think I might crimp them. So if you want to pull out some crimp beads, I'm going to use little silver ones. This is a great way to attach some beads onto leather. If you don't want to make a bunch of knots. So I've got, these are little 1mm crimp beads. All these little 1mm guys. I'm just going to pull a few out. And we're just going to use them. I'll show you, just, you crimp them down. And you don't have to crimp it like with your crimping pliers like you would wire together. But we're just going to crimp them right on to the leather. And that will keep the beads in place, but you kind of have to be careful not to crimp too hard and cut your leather, because you can cut your leather if you crimp down really hard. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, but I'll show you here. So I'm going to take one of these pearls, these really pretty blue pearls. I'm going to scoot it up right about to here. And then I'm going to take one of my little crimps, and I'm going to scoot it down as well, if it'll go. I may have to trim this leather up because, like I said, I had used, this is my second attempt at this necklace, and so the leather got a little bit ruffled there on the end where I had to pull it off of the other necklace. Well, maybe these crimp beads are too, those might be too little, or too small for this. I may have to use a size 2. Let's see if I have a size 2. I do. Okay, so I'm going to take the size 2 crimp bead. I'm just going to put it on right underneath my little pearl there, and I'm just going to crimp it down gently. So you want it to crimp enough to where it holds onto the leather, but you don't want it to crimp enough to where you cut the leather. So like I said, it's a little bit of a balancing act there. I'm going to take this marble bead, and again, grabbing one of my size 2 crimps. It'd be better if we could use the size 1s, but they're just too small. They're not going to work for this. So I'm going to grab a size 2. I may have a little bit bigger. I do, actually, now that I think about it. I have a little bit bigger. I'm trying to find another size 2. I don't have a whole lot of size 2s. I did this before, but I had a smaller size leather. So I'm going to crimp that down. Now, you can, if you wanted to, take crimp bead covers and put on top of these, and I may do that. So here's a crimp bead cover. That one's kind of big. Actually, that one would probably work for that. So these are crimp bead covers. They look like little Pac-Man. And I may just take it, put it right over top of that crimp. You have to close it up real good. And these are very malleable, thankfully, because I never do get them closed up good the first time, ever. You really have to kind of play around with them. And you just keep on with your pliers until you get it closed up. And there, that makes it look like a little bead on there. So I may just do that instead of just the blind crimps, because normally when I do the crimps like this on leather, I'm using a smaller size. So we'll just put him on there. That works. And I have all sizes of these crimp bead covers. So I used a fairly large one for that because that was a fairly large crimp bead. Let me see if I have another one that would work for the smaller crimp bead. And they tend to get tangled inside of each other. Let me see if I can get that one out of there. I've got one stuck in there. Nope. Let me just see if I have another one. I have a whole bunch of them. They're just in the same container. Okay, so let's try. I don't know if this one might be too small for that crimp bead. Or that, yeah. He's too little. Seem to have too many medium-sized ones. I've either got huge ones or tiny ones. Oh, here's one. Okay, this should work. I don't know what size this is, but I'm just going to put it right over there. Close it down. And just come around here and close it up. That just makes it look like a little decorative silver bead on there instead of a crimp bead. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, I'm liking the way that looks. That's cute. Okay, so let's go with this strand right here and use one of our, I love these crackle glass beads. These are so pretty. Let's use one of these. Let's come down here. Again, let me find a size 2 crimp bead. The crimp beads are all in the same container too. Back when I first started doing beading in general, I did not separate things out. Like I put all my crimp beads in the same container. I just didn't know any better, you know, and now I'm kind of used to it like that, and I kind of like it because I can just dump things out and see everything. So even now, like if I get crimps, I do separate my crimp tubes from my crimp beads, but like these cheap little crimp beads, these are just cheapo ones. I just pour them all in the same container. Here's one. And you just want to make sure that you're kind of staggering these so that there's, you know, they're not all right together in a lump, unless you want them all right together in a lump. And if you do, then by all means. But I'm staggering mine a little bit. Just going to take this gigantic crimp bead cover and go right over top of this one. That might have been a size 3 crimp. It kind of looks like it could have been. But you just want to, it's like a little Pac-Man. You just want to fit it right over top of that crimp. And then it's best to use your pliers, not your fingers, like I'm trying to do, because that doesn't work very well. But I had it here so completely in my hand. Now you can grab your crimping pliers. And these have these little ridges in here, so they kind of will hold these a little bit easier. And then just stick it over there and close it down. And then I just always make sure that the little mouth of it, or the place where it connects together, is closed. There we go. And you can take it and kind of shape it if you bend it out of shape like I just did right there. Just take your plier, and these are, like I said, they're very malleable and forgiving. There we go. Just be gentle and it should go right like you need it, right like that. Okay, so Looking cute. Over here, I think I'll do another of the marble beads. And I'm just going to let it hang right about there. Yeah, this rose is so pretty, but it's just huge. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I thought about taking resin and putting resin in it and like filling in these holes with different colors of resin or something, but I don't know, that to me just seemed like it would be too much too. Oh, come on, go on there. You're a bigger, there we go, okay. So what I'm trying to do when I do this is just make sure that everybody's kind of staggered like this. I want this one down a little. And then again, let me find a crimp bead cover that'll work for him. That one may. Just stick it on and close it up. There we go. And that's what we've got so far. I'm going to put a few more on. I do want to get one of the big ones on down here, I think. Do I want that big one on down there? I don't think I do. I guess I might save the big ones for up top. Let me do another one of these. Actually, yeah, let me do another one of these guys. Kind of down here. And then you can trim off if your leather's too long. It's really just kind of your own personal taste of what you like. Okay, so we're going to let him hang down kind of right about here. This takes the giant crimp bead cover. This is a bigger crimp. And again, just when you're smashing the crimp down, just don't do it so hard that you cut the leather. Just kind of gently smash it down, and it will be firm on your crimp, but you don't need to cut your leather. I've done that before and it's aggravating. But this works really good if you're careful. Okay, so I'd kind of like to get another one of the blue pearls up in here. Let me see, this guy right here. Right about there, probably. Okay. Maybe right about there. I just don't want it to be, I don't want them to be too stuck, you know, too close together, but I don't want them to be too far apart either. That's going to need the bigger crimp cover. Okay, there we go. They never close up right for me. I mean, I don't know if anybody ever gets them closed up really right on the first time. You would think that that little opening would just close right together, but it does not. I always have to take my pliers and kind of reshape the whole thing. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I may, let's see, I don't want these to really be this long. All of them. I feel like I need something right there maybe. So let me trim these, let me trim this one off a little. And this one off a little. Just to kind of see how that looks. Yeah, I definitely need something like right down here because I have that big blue one down here. So I think I'll do maybe a marble one right here. Right about here. That looks good. Find a crimp bead that will work. And right about here. That was Sadie. If you guys see her sneeze, she just had the biggest sneeze over there. I don't know if you heard it, but it's kind of funny. Sadie. You can hear her toenails on the hardwood floor sometimes when she's walking through here. And I'm videoing. She's been asleep all morning. She's probably ready to go out and potty. So when I get done making this video, I have to take her out. Okay. There we go. Looking pretty cute, actually. So let me see. I'm going to trim this one, this big long one, just about right here. And I try to trim it kind of at an angled point. I just think it looks better. Does this guy need something? This one needs one more. He needs a small blue pearl down here. That would look good. I was so mad when I got the video uploaded and was starting the editing process, and I had it on my computer and I played it. I always watch the videos, obviously, before I upload them, or try to watch them completely through. And the whole end of it was gone, like the whole, and I'm like, what in the world? I mean, I know I recorded, I thought I did, I know I finished the necklace, but it was just gone. So I had to take the whole thing apart and remake it. Okay, one more crimp bead cover. I think that's the last bead we're going to do down here. Does that one fit there? It doesn't really. I need just a tad bit bigger one. I don't know why I've bought all my crimp bead covers in either a gigantic size or a small size. I don't seem to have any medium-sized ones. I guess I need to deal with that problem. Just trying to see if I can find one. Here, maybe this will work. Okay, let's try this guy. Yeah, that'll work, I think. Okay. All right. There we go. So there's our tassel. I like it. I'm going to trim up the ends just a tad on the whole thing. So let me lay it out here and just kind of pull everybody down. I'm not going to trim it up a whole lot, just enough to where it's not quite so crazy. There we go. Cute. Okay, so we have a tassel. Now, I wanted to do some links here with the beads. Let's get our little charm back around there. So I thought about stringing, you know, using tiger tail bead stringing wire, but I want to hook my leather onto these little connections on the sides up here. So I want to bead this area. I have got crimp beads like all over the place right here. Let me pick them up. And I don't know, I just wanted the interest. I had somebody ask me the other day, they said, why did you make links instead of just stringing it? And it's just a design choice. It just adds some interest, some texture, I think, and, you know, it's just another way of doing a design that's not just stringing all the time. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the eye pins. Just trying to get these crimp beads picked up so I don't end up with them all over the floor. I dropped an entire container of jump rings the other day, and that was a mess. Okay. Okay, so I have some beads here, and I've got some eye pins. So I'm just going to lay this out. I'm going to put my little flowers here because that's kind of where I'd like for them to go, I think. And then I just want to see how I would like to do this. So I like to start with smaller beads. I always do that. I don't know. It's just a thing with me. I like smaller beads around the focal. I just think that it doesn't take away from the focal as much as when you put big, huge beads down here. So I think I will do a link here. Now, I'm going to have to hook this guy onto a jump ring. And I have some larger jump rings. These are 12 millimeters. And the reason I have to do this is I could hook it onto here and then hang it from a jump ring, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to hook it onto this jump ring here, this 12 millimeter. If it's big enough. I hope it is. Oh, come on now. I may have to find a bigger one even. Let's look and see if I can get it. No, this should work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this 12 millimeter jump ring, close it back up. Did that come on? Yeah, I couldn't get it on there, but it sure does come off really easy, doesn't it? Never fails. Okay. Get this closed back up. There we go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hook them from this loop right here. So I've got these here, my small, medium, and large. Okay, and my camera stopped recording again, and if I hadn't caught it, I would have had this whole video that didn't work again, and that would have been really frustrating. Okay, so I'm taking this little tail around. Just going to take him around here to the back and tuck him down. And then I'm just going to continue to go around and coil this. I've got everything tangled up. My pliers are in here, they're tangled up, this wire's tangled up. Okay. And I'm just coiling it around and around. And then I want to try to make sure that it's even. I'm still up just a tad bit on this side. I don't know if I can get them down anymore over here. I don't think I can. I mean, it's not like, if it's just a little teeny tiny bit, it's not going to be super noticeable. You just don't want it to be a big difference. Okay. So I'm just going around and around, coiling one on top of the other one. And we'll get it the same length. That's about the same length. So I'm going around to the back. I'm going to go around one more time. Okay, and around to the back. And then you just want to cut it. And press it down with your plier. And then I'm going to try to condense my little coil here to where it's nice and good. Okay. And then we'll trim these off. Right, like that. And there is our little connection. So this you can wear right over your head. Just slip it right on. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. If you don't like these two pieces being separate, you can always tie a knot, like before you put your leather on, you could tie a knot here and tie a knot here, and it would kind of hold them together. But I mean, once it's around your neck, it's going to hang. It's not going to matter. So, but yeah, I think this turned out super cute. And I like the way that this dangle in front of here just kind of takes this focal and makes it not quite so huge. So let's put it on a form and I'll be right back to show it to you. Okay, so here we are in my light box, and here's the piece. Here's our focal and our whole necklace. I like it. I think it turned out really good. A lot of fun, easy to make, but a cute and a little bit unique design. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, check out Curated Bead Box. I will link the unboxing in the description box below this video. I do have a coupon for 35% off your first box. That makes the first box around $13, so it's a really great deal. Check them out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!